Good morning, Cincinnati, nicknamed the Queen City. You may not have known that. Most people think of Charlotte as the Queen City, but Cincinnati also nicknamed the Queen City. Anyway, folks, we're getting you ready for the opening bell at the New York Stock Exchange. It's set to ring here in about 7 minutes, and we'll take you to New York for it. In the meantime, here's how the markets are looking. As you can see, the Dow, S&P 500, and the Nasdaq are all in the red. The last two, the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq, are down pretty significantly right now, over a full percent. That's significant enough. Anyway, we'll take you to New York for the opening bell here in just a little bit. But now let's take you over to David Brody.
Thank you so much, T. Bates. Appreciate it. Now time for our daily dose of dollars and common sense. We've got American Sunrise early edition host and the guy behind Jake's Take Substack. That would be Jake Novak. Jake, good to see you on this Monday. So let's start with this federal court ruling that would essentially negate President Trump's tariffs. What do you think? Will this hold?
Well, first I got to correct you, David. It's Tuesday. I know it feels like a Monday, but it's a Tuesday. Of course, we'll be grateful for that on Friday when it comes faster. So don't be upset about that. Don't be upset with me.
True.
Yeah, I want to explain because the answer to the question about tariffs, I think, is tied in a little bit to what Terrence just showed you. Those very sharply lower arrows on Wall Street for our open. Now, the experts are going to say this is because of tariff uncertainty. The federal court throwing them in limbo. They're all in effect still, but this is going to go to the Supreme Court now. That's not why we're seeing these red arrows. We're seeing red arrows because interest rates are going up higher, although they have eased off just in the last few minutes or so. And also oil prices are going higher because over the weekend, we just got more evidence that this war between Russia and Ukraine is not going to end. And so that means the sanctions on Russian oil aren't going to end and might even be increased. So that's the real reason why we're seeing some red arrows here. And it's not about tariff uncertainty. But everyone should understand they're all still in effect. And even if, and that's a big if, the Supreme Court does knock down a lot of the tariffs, and I don't think they will, but even if it does, there's another avenue that the Trump administration can take. They can use another rule that they have, the Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act of 1939. By the way, that's a Jeopardy. Jeopardy loves that tariff, the Smoot-Hawley tariff. They love that one, so now you'll get the answer right on Jeopardy. They might use that as well to at least keep the tariffs going for another 5 months. But don't be fooled. This is not a huge uncertainty moment. They've already kind of looked into it, and they realize probably going to see most of these tariffs for the next 3 years. And 3 years for business is an eternity. They usually don't have a window for more than 3 months. So the idea that uncertainty is driving the markets down this morning is overstated.
Yeah, and let's also remember that this judge also said that, well, actually, the tariffs can continue until the Supreme Court weighs in. So, I mean, there goes your uncertainty. I mean, the tariffs aren't going anywhere for the foreseeable future. Also, those tariffs are not, it does not affect steel and aluminum, is my understanding as well. So there's that as well. All right, Jake, it's September. That means this is the month when the Fed is expected, highly expected, to cut interest rates. But when exactly? What are we thinking? Middle of the month? What is it? The 17th or 18th? And do you buy the speculation? What do you think?
Well, David, I want to make two pledges to you and the viewers right now. The first is
Thank you.
I will not be as unprepared. I will not be as unprepared as Bill Belichick's teams were last night in that game. I'm much more prepared than that. My second pledge is that I will not participate in any more than the absolutely necessary Fed obsession and Fed countdown. So I'm going to do this for you now. We are 16 days away from finding out what the Fed's going to do with interest rates. You know that this bothers me. We have a wonderful economy in this country where people do everything from selling fruits and vegetables to doing AI. We shouldn't be focusing on what the Fed says to get an idea of where our economy is and where it's going to go. We're forced to do that because of the Federal Reserve existing in the first place. All right. But I'm telling you right now, the markets will be obsessing about this for the next 16 days. It's a lot of what we're going to be hearing about. Unless you listen to me, I'll try to focus you on things that are more important. But yes, I do think they're going to cut rates, but it's not going to be until the 18th, and there's going to be so many other things going on in the economy until then. So prepare better than Bill Belichick's teams are, and look at other parts of the economy. That's my advice.
So wait, real quick though, but the reality we live in, Fed or no Fed, we have a Federal Reserve. So are you saying that with a cut in interest rates, what's your view? I mean, how significant could the cut be? And even if it's just marginal, how will that potentially affect the economy? Even though I know there's so many other factors involved, but there's going to be a lot of attention paid to this.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it's going to be a half-point cut, which is a bigger cut than usually. Usually they go by quarter points. But, I think President Trump's right about this. And this isn't about partisan stuff here. It is too late. It is too late for this to make the kind of significant effect that I would like to see. I think that the tax cuts getting extended by the big, beautiful bill and some of the changes in some business regulations are going to have a bigger impact on the economy than the Fed right now. The Fed has lost its credibility because they made those cuts during the election last year when inflation was higher than it is now. And to me, it's just a mess. And in a lot of ways, that's what the market is responding to as well. Not the reports, oh, President Trump's pressuring the Fed, that's bad for the markets. No, what the markets are really responding to is that the Fed, which exists to make money for the big banks and the big investors, has lost its credibility. And that came before Trump ever got reelected.
We've got 30 seconds. You say you think it's going to be too late. Why exactly? Unpack that. Why would it be too late exactly? 30 seconds.
Well, it's because inflation now is sort of ingrained. There's other things we need to do to help to stop inflation. We needed to cut rates well before the elections last year, I think, but certainly again before just as President Trump was reelected, and we saw the inflation rate go down in the first couple of months of his administration. It's too late because prices they're not going to move. They're looking for an excuse to go up again. And lower interest rates will give them that excuse. It's going to be bad for inflation. That's my short answer.
All right. This week, we'll check back with you about the stock of the New York Jets, as in, are they up or down? Yeah, I know. Wait for it. Just hold your fire. Hold your fire. Jake Novak, great to have you, my friend. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Time for the opening bell, sponsored by AMAC.
The Association of Mature American Citizens is the conservative voice for Americans 50 and older. AMAC is fighting for the values that you hold dear. Join today. Together, we can write the course of America.
This just in, the New York Jets will be competing in the Big Ten this year, not the NFL. They're that bad. Anyway, folks, we're getting you ready for the opening bell at the New York Stock Exchange. Bed Bath & Beyond is at the podium. The applause is underway, which means we are seconds away from hearing the opening bell and getting an idea how the markets are ultimately going to shape up once they finally open. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The markets are now officially open. The bell is ringing. The Dow, S&P 500, and the Nasdaq all starting off in the red, though. That's not a positive sign, but hopefully things will get turned around here as this day of trading gets underway. And if you're investing on any of those indices, hopefully you'll have a bit more of a prosperous day since the start isn't so good. When inflation jumps, when you hear the national debt is over $37 trillion, do you ever think, well, maybe now would be a good time to buy some gold? Whether as a hedge against inflation, peace of mind during global instability, or just for sensible diversification, the Birch Gold Group believes that every American should own physical gold. So they created something special. Until September 30th, if you're a first-time gold buyer, the Birch Gold Group is offering a rebate of up to $10,000 in free metals on qualifying purchases. To claim your eligibility and to start the process, request an information kit now. In order to get that information kit, just text the word America to the number 989898. Plus, the Birch Gold Group can help you roll an existing IRA or 401k into an IRA in gold. And you're still eligible for a rebate in free metals of up to $10,000. The Birch Gold Group is the only precious metals company so many Americans trust, as do their tens of thousands of customers. So make right now your first time to buy gold and take advantage of a rebate of up to $10,000 when you buy by September 30th. Again, text the word America to the number 989898 now to get that free information kit. Up next here on American Sunrise, country icon John Rich taking aim at all of those big bureaucrats who rape our country and its people all in the name of profit. In moments, find out who is in his sights today. This is American Sunrise continues.
Then he'll survey all your trees and cut them down. If you try to stand and fight, he'll remind you he's Goliath, and you're nothing but a David in his eyes.